Hello and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. Unfortunately, the SEC's threat of a lawsuit against another Bitcoin exchange shows no sign of abating. There will be a number of speakers, including David Schwartz, John Deaton, Jimmy Hogan, Meta Lohman, Ryan Selkes, and others. And you'll desire every single one of them. If the CFTC and the Bank of England work together, you'll need all of that, too. Let's try this out. XRP $17 to $27. Someone get Brad Kane on those wonderful introspective stat. Come on in. Returning for more exclusives, the show is open to all attendees. At present, the total value of all cryptocurrencies on the market is $1.33 trillion. The sun is shining and it's morning. The market gained 1.9% on the prior day. The price of Ethereum has risen to over $2,100, and the value of Bitcoin has risen to over $30,300. There was a 10.6% spike in Ethereum Tether during the course of a week. Tether's market cap is $81.41 billion, whereas XRP's $52. Keeping a close eye on it. Over the past 24 hours, we have gained 1.6. Assuming that this is an improvement, please check out my sponsor if you haven't already. Here, investments are safe. You can buy virtual gold and silver with your IRA. The statement is true. The only thing nicer than buying Bitcoin from the comfort of my own home is buying cryptocurrency from my IRA and not having to pay taxes on the gain. Keep in mind that while you can find retail custody, you won't be able to find institutional custody. The fact that they follow the rules to the letter is a major plus. You won't have to worry about the same issues that plague other types of business transactions while dealing with us. A cryptocurrency IRA that follows all regulations. You can put it into a 401k rollover. K, 403B and 457. And your thoughts on that? Bitcoin is free of taxes, baby. That's why I enjoy it so much. Yes. To watch the video, follow the link below. It is time to begin. The fear generated by Gary Gensler's SEC's alive and well, ladies and gentlemen. There is a post by Gary Gensler that was made 22 hours ago. Former Bittrex CEO and co-founder William Sharon is being accused of operating an unregistered national securities exchange broker and clearing agency. Gary Gensler claims that the problem in the cryptocurrency sector isn't a lack of regulatory clarity, but rather a lack of compliance. The sheer gall of this guy, as he tweets about his day, to come out and label this nasty is astounding. What I'm about to tell you defies words. There's obviously a problem when Hester Peirce is sounding the alarm about how murky things are, as he says. And at this point, everybody knows the drill. If you go to them for help, they will still sue you. Unbelievable, in a word. At today's meeting, however, Gary Gensler will be given the opportunity to speak. How that pans out remains to be seen. However, hear me out, okay? Later this morning, Financial Services Committee members will ask SEC Chairman Gary Gensler about the documents they need to investigate claims made against former CEO Sam Bankman. Free Financial Services Committee Chair Patrick McHenry is giving a sneak peek right now. I wish you a pleasant morning. For what purpose are you searching? In what ways do you hope this meeting will benefit you? First and foremost, I think it's important to highlight the costs to the market and economy that would result from 53 critical rulemakings by this agency on Gary Gensler's swift and aggressive regulatory agenda. In the context of the digital asset ecosystem, what exactly do you mean, and where exactly is the ambiguity? That's exactly my point. His two predecessors at the SEC, for whom data is available, each finished half as many rulemakings. This chair is making a concerted effort to bring about radical transformation. It will have a major influence on finances, and he isn't giving much room for smart analysis. Therefore, we will have cheap rules that are very expensive on the market at a time when the rest of the world wants to take over our capital markets. I don't think that's a good plan, and I think it's important that we expose it. Furthermore, he has not provided any guidance on how to handle virtual resources. As a result of their expansion overseas, we're experiencing a decline in our market share. In Asia and Europe, there is intense competition for a rational regulatory framework, but we have nothing comparable. Considering that, these are the issues I'd like to discuss first thing in the morning. In my perspective, they're indispensable to the success of the American economy. A lack of action, though, means that we will have to wait and see. And thus far all we have from Congress is a steady stream of tweets. That, I believe, should frighten us just as much as Gary Jensen's actions. Right. Let's circle back to this, though, because David Schwartz claims it deserves our close inspection. Although I think it's reasonable that buyers like OMG, TXN, NGC, and IHT would want to earn a profit, the SEC claims otherwise. It appears to be financial guidance. Yes, it actually does. Isn't the SEC not the place to get investment advice? John Deaton makes a proclamation as he reveals the pursuit from Mike Judas. Despite Mike Judas's extensive background in the sector as an investor, Sylvia Macaulay's algorithm won MIT Turing Award. Gary Gensler will describe their MIT collaboration and the party he threw in their honor. Take note of this. It can't be created artificially. It's not easy being a politician. Using blockchain technology, you could create a service like Uber or Lyft right now. In 5 years, though, there would be a performance, so it's possible. I utilized Sylvia Macaulay's Turing Award-winning program developed at MIT. Sylvia's technology is cutting-edge and highly effective. Possible foundation for Uber. That, simply put, is revolting. It is. People who are being sued in stock exchanges on the false grounds that they are securities. Absolutely repulsive. John Deaton says he is visualizing the hypothetical group of investors who were persuaded by former CFTC chairman and current MIT professor Gary Gensler to purchase unregistered securities. To introduce myself, my name is Gary Gensler. But then I remember that in order to win my case I have to argue that it is a security. According to him, everything is crystal clear. Nonetheless, I find this man repulsive and cannot respect him as a human being. Mr. Lahman says he has reviewed the whole 56-page lawsuit against Bittrex. There's something about the Bittrex exchange case that I don't understand, he said. They go on to explain that if you read this letter, you'll see that we asked for them, and that this is his response. He insisted over and over that Bittrex had requested that the SEC identify which cryptocurrencies it considered to be securities. They were against carrying it out. Even now, we're supposed to believe that investor protection was the driving force for the SEC's decision to let Bittrex market unregistered securities for so long. At this point, I often chime in to add that in my perspective, this is regulatory capture, and that it serves to stifle the already existing market and infrastructure in order to pave the way for the legacy businesses to enter and acquire them. Low prices. This statement puts everything in one convenient location. The SEC should have taken action years ago if they had shared that view. Instead of saying it was charging Bittrex with securities breaches, the SEC should say nothing at this time and include a no-action suggestion in the letter. Now back with more Jeremy Holguin. The SEC is counting on Bittrex for a speedy switchover. Here is a brief justification for why those 6 tokens must be considered securities. The alternative tactic involves the Algorand Foundation and the other 5 projects intervening in the litigation together in accordance with Rule 24. He goes on to add that Bittrex should ask the SEC to include them in the exchanges and projects by filing a request to dismiss for failing to include necessary party Rule 19. Work together or perish. Doesn't he therefore imply that proof to tokens in securities is required beforehand? Yes. A response from Jeremy Hogan. Bittrex's declaration that Algo or any other token it trades is not a security raises the question of how it can make that case. Absolutely not. The game consists of suing me while simultaneously accusing me of being a bad person. Dare I refute that? Please, come fight beside me. Now you see the problem. This is the kind of sleazy, dishonest activity at the SEC that isn't related to investor protection but does solve a different problem. Therefore, I think the issue of regulatory capture at the SEC merits investigation. The former chairman, Ryan Selkes, Gary Gensler, and others also offer their thoughts on the matter. You're wasting your time with a national disgrace like Gary Gensler, who takes pleasure in sabotaging his own agency's goals and putting his own greedy ambitions ahead of the security of investors and the country as a whole. That calls for a party. A 2-year wait, however, is unnecessary. Congress has the ability to act today. The unfortunate part is that this only makes the conflict worse. Don't forget that he also has DFI and the US in his sights. The SEC will continue to broaden its reach and keep most of the Bitcoin industry under its jurisdiction unless Congress approves new legislation to address oversight concerns. Also included is DFI. This is actually what's happening. The principles of the authoritarian government are guiding our thinking. The key idea of the narrative is that they will not perceive any such thing. In this case, it is exactly what transpires. This is precisely what transpires. I've been saying that, despite the difficulties the United States faces in the financial markets, the United Kingdom stands to gain. There has never been a change in this. And here's Brian Armstrong the day before, standing with the City Minister and UK Economic Secretary to advance consumer protection and economic growth. The United Kingdom is working swiftly to develop effective crypto legislation so that investors would feel safe keeping their money there. So long. If you keep doing this, people will start looking for other places to call home. That's the result, right? Let's check this out right now while it's interesting. The Bank of England and the Commodity Futures Trading Commission (CFTC) in the United States have issued a joint statement regarding their oversight of these CSP. Here, we focus on central counterparty payments that occur across international borders. I think you'll all find this quite interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Please allow me to briefly explain. Regarding the oversight of cross-border central counterparties, the bank and the CFTC have maintained a long-standing relationship based on mutual trust and cooperation. To put it another way, the CCP values regulation and oversight and accords them due regard. This differentiated approach retains the benefits of cross-border operations while removing the need for, or the potential of, regulatory duplication. Approval of a project that follows the G20's 2013 St. Petersburg commitments. So, I should probably just use settlement instead of payments. Therefore, the bank and CFTC are committed to maintaining their 2020 MOU high standards of collaboration and information exchange. This section focuses on the agreement between the United States and the United Kingdom about the use of a central counterparty in each country for the settlement of derivatives and other financial instruments. Right? Therefore, let's examine this. According to the MWR in place for the past 3 years, the level of cooperation reflected in these procedures includes regular interactions between staff and CFTC Bank to discuss opinions on relevant supervisory issues while taking into account opinions, relevant specific issues, and concerns as they arise. Timely disclosure of information, such as financial resilience and business continuity of the CSBS service to clearing members or trading venues established in the UK and the US, and data on the clearing services offered to market participants are also examples of these practices. Just like this is happening. If Gary Gensler's terrorizing of the Bitcoin business serves no protective function, why does he do it? Perhaps, but securing investments is unrelated to his policy of regulation by enforcement. Here, let's take a closer look. Crypto Bull 2020 claims that contrary to current observation, the charts show a different picture. According to him, XRP would peak between $17 and $27 by the end of September 2023. If that's the case, we're separated by about 4.5, or 5 months. What it is plain to see. I can only hope he's right if we follow the same trend here. We're keeping our toes and fingers crossed, but the future holds no guarantees. Not only am I not offering financial advice, but neither is this. One who advises clients on their finances. Not for either of us, really. This is just my online opinion. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.